All right.
It's really funny. You know, we do these webinars in English and in Portuguese, right? Alternating between English and Portuguese. And so when we do it in Portuguese, we have to start at least 5 minutes late as we're waiting for everyone to come in. And when it's in English, usually we have to start a couple of minutes early. So, so I think today I'm really happy to see so many new faces. I don't think I've met most of you. I'm sure more people will join us in the next couple of minutes. We have Vanya from Brussels, right?
Yes.
Yes. Ana Paula is in Los Angeles, right? Amidst all the confusion that's happening over there, you'll tell us a little more.
Yes.
Myself and Gabriele were in Brazil. She's in Rio, and I'm in kind of in between São Paulo and Rio. And if who else do we have here that I haven't met? Anita, where are you from? Christina, Dragana. If you want to present yourself, that's great. If not, that's fine as well. You can just send me a chat. But I just really like knowing who is joining us. We have Dr. Mizan, welcome. So I think it's 5 o'clock, so we'll slowly get started. My name is Bella Bablumin. For those of you who haven't met me, I am originally from Armenia, but hi, Carrie. Good you could join us. So my name is Bella Bablumin. I'm from Armenia originally, and I'm the founder of Embody Wellness, the wellness company that's organizing all of these webinars. We used to be able to have in-person trainings in Rio, and we were going to start doing that around the world when the crisis happened. So that's when we decided to set up these webinars every Wednesday afternoon, every Wednesday evening, to at least allow for people to get access to our incredible practitioners, wellness practitioners, some holistic doctors, energy, medicine practitioners. We have a wide network of really amazing partners around the world, and Ana Paula is one of them. I'll present you in a couple of seconds, but it's just been really incredible to have this window of opportunity to talk to, first of all, to meet new people from around the globe, and to welcome our practitioners to create this place where we can really disconnect from a little bit from all the negative things that are happening, and to really create a positive environment where we can learn about the things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy, to relieve our stress, to really focus on the positive, and to reconstruct ourselves a little bit. I think I see this opportunity that COVID gave us an opportunity to really be introspective and reconnect to ourselves, and that's why I gave these webinars the name Alone or All One. You can see it both ways, right? Either you're alone, but you can also see it as it's an opportunity for us to reconnect the body, mind, and spirit, and that's what we're here to do. And all of our practitioners, they're here really to help and share their wisdom with us, give us some really practical tools as well, so we can start using some of these things at home and see how we can keep ourselves healthy, and see that, get empowered, and to see that our body is it has magical powers. We can activate them easily on our own with the help of our practitioners. So just to welcome as people that's coming in, I'm really happy to see a lot of new faces. I see some what are they called? People who I see every week. So that's amazing as well. Welcome everyone. Again, my name is Bella, and I'm the founder of Embody Wellness. I'm also a wellness practitioner. I've done everything from fitness, holistic wellness, to psychology, international public health. And then I left everything behind to start my own company to work with a lot of incredible wellness practitioners and bring them together to offer a new vision to health, which I call pleasurable wellness, which is more about discovering what works for us. So a more authentic way of living healthy, and an empowered way of living healthy. So without taking up too much of of this precious time we have together, I want to introduce Ana Paula Duarte, who is not only an incredible professional, but she's also a really an amazing friend of mine that from long time ago we met in when I was studying at UCLA back in Los Angeles, and then we've been also neighbors in Washington D.C. Well, not neighbors, but living close to each other. And we recently reconnected again. Ana Paula is a licensed acupuncturist. She has a master's in traditional Oriental medicine. She studied Chinese medicine as well. She's certified by all kinds of different boards. I don't even know, you can introduce all of those incredible titles that you have. But all to say that she has this really ancient wisdom that comes from the Chinese. And I think this time we're also discovering that all of the ancient practices, the Chinese, from India, from the especially from the Orient, we're sort of rediscovering them and seeing that they're actually being proven by science as well, right? That we do have all the energy meridians running through our body, and they are actually, I think it was a book you shared with me, Anna, that that shows that in reality the meridians that were discovered thousands of years ago are actually now measured by electromagnetic, is it electromagnetic? I don't know, you can explain it better, but that you can measure them actually with some machines and see that they are running along the meridians that were, designed and discovered, by the Chinese many thousands of years ago. And by activating some of these points that where the electricity is actually stronger, we can access all of our body and activate our immunity, control stress, even become prettier, right, Ana Paula? There's that aspect as well. But welcome. I'm not gonna, pretend like I know anything about Chinese medicine. Please share some of this wisdom with us. We're really excited, and thank you so much for being here all the way from LA.
All right. Thank you so much, Bella. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with the Embody Institute. I've been following your trajectory with the Institute from its inception. It's been amazing to see it grow. And I love this thing that you began with the pandemic, that you started online classes for free for the global community. And it's really awesome to be part of it. I also want to say, just plug in for Bella. I've known her for almost 20 years, and I feel like Bella is the embodiment and she's the face of Embody Wellness. She has always cared about nutrition, health, movement, pleasure. So it's amazing to see the work that she's doing, and also, sharing our work with the world. It's so funny. A funny story is that I sent her a little thing about my talk today and something really brief. And you see, I have a PowerPoint. It's really simple. I can also forward Bella more resources on acupuncture and books and websites. If you're interested, you can kind of dig in much deeper than what we're going to do here today. And she can share with you later. I have a list that I can send it to her. But I sent her this very simple thing. This is what we're gonna do, and then she comes back, what about this? And she has this thing with language where she makes things so much prettier, and she writes so well. So it's really nice to have her bring us out to the world. People that, I'm good with the acupuncture, but I'm not so great with the words and the marketing, and she kind of puts it all together brilliantly. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your work with the world in the way that you do that is so beautiful.
Anna. Oh, yeah. you're making my heart melt. Thank you. I really appreciate it. But I think that's one of the things, I've been really lucky to come across and meet incredible professionals, around the world. And it's like, I'm, compelled to bring them along and sometimes help them, just with designing courses, creating the language that you need to attract the right, the right audiences. So that's my passion. So If you guys,
Yeah, and it shows.
anyone knows more professionals, please, send them along the way. Embody Institute is always waiting to receive more people. So thank you,
Let's
Anna.
extend the network of wellness, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So today we will be talking a little bit about some acupressure points that you can do at home. You can do it with your partner, with your kids, with yourself. So it's a really easy concepts, and you can take notes, or I can share the PowerPoint with Bella as well at the end, and you can have the PowerPoint and these other resources, acupuncture books and websites that you can look into if you want to find out a little more.
That would be great. Just to say, Gabriele will share with us the Facebook group page. You can click on it, join, and then I will share Ana Paula's presentation on there, as well as her contact, in case you want to get in touch with her, or find out more about the work that she does and read some of the books that she recommends. So Gabriele, when you can, send those links, and then people can join and follow us, and also find out about the upcoming webinars, but we'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is, I know there are people connecting from different parts of the world, and I'm in the US. I am passionate about finding acupuncturists for you wherever you are. I know some acupuncturists scattered throughout the world. I don't know them in every country, but if you need help finding an acupuncturist locally where you are, I will be super happy to help you research and find a way that you can get some acupuncture care if this is what you're interested in. So I just want to put that out there too. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys here. Let's see.
Sorry, can you repeat the page, the WhatsApp page, the Facebook page?
It's Embody Wellness.
So it's on the chat. Do you guys have access to the chat? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If not, you can also find us through just at Embody Wellness with an I. Embody is IMBODY. Embody Wellness. Okay.
All right. So today we'll be talking a little bit about acupressure for optimal body function, stronger immunity, and stress control. And this is a presentation by me. I'm Paula Duarte. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I have been doing acupuncture for about 8 years now here in the US. And I'm licensed with the Maryland board, the California board, and the National Board of Acupuncture here in the US. Let's put the titles away because it's more informal. And but I'm here for any resources or questions that you may have. So basically, in the Chinese medicine sort of philosophy, when we think about your body and pain, we say that pain arises when there is an obstruction of the free flow of qi within the channels. So what does that mean? So the qi can be so many things. There's not an exact translation in English for the word qi, but we can think of it as, like Bella mentioned earlier today. Sorry, there's a lot of police going through. This is LA. Give me 1 second. It's crazy times we're living right now. Ooh.
It's fine. We can't really hear that. That's not really.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
it's fine.
It's just alarming to see all the.
Yeah, I think when you use the phone, the headphones.
That's what I put it on, because I was like, well, maybe some helicopters and police cars will be going through.
Yeah, we know it's not really peaceful in that part of the world right now. So we really appreciate you taking time to.
No, it's
bring
good.
us
It's
some
always
peace.
a pleasure to. I feel like my activist self is very engaged right now, so it's really nice to go back to acupuncture, which is a little bit more calming than being an activist. So we're talking about the word qi, and what does that mean? Like Bella mentioned, energy. We can also think of qi as your blood and as your circulatory system. You can think of it as your your lymphatic system. Basically, everything in your body that's moving around and bringing nutrients to different parts of your body, that's nourishing your organs. There's a new concept that is looking into the acupuncture needles actually activating the electromagnetic fields in the fascia. So by touching the fascia, it sends this electric waves that kind of like trigger things and alter things in your body. uh, for better health. It just kind of makes things circulate better, and the more circulation you have, the better off you are, right? The whole idea with movement to keep active, you know, acupuncture helps you do that without being active. You're laying there receiving the acupuncture or the acupressure, but you're activating your own body's healing powers. So pain arises when the chi is not flowing freely. So our medicine, which is Chinese medicine, focuses on balancing the body by promoting free flow of qi, right? And we do that by manipulating specific acupuncture points. And then with that, you can restore the free flow of qi and relieve some pain. Or not just pain. There's also internal disorders, digestive issues, women's issues with, menstruation or pain related to menstruation. We can help with mental health issues, anxiety, depression. Everything is connected. So it basically helps with everything. I want to put a disclaimer here that it's not a cure for all. And if you need medical attention, you should seek your doctor. But this is something that helps. Even if you are doing a treatment with your doctor and medication, it's nice to have acupuncture as well. How does it work? In a nutshell, we have 14 main channels and eight extraordinary channels with over 400 points in your body. So I have a picture here. It's actually from a Brazilian magazine, just to kind of give you an idea. I'm sure you guys have seen, the acupuncture points and the channels going. They literally go all over your body, front and back, side, head, toes, fingers, in your abdominal area, spine. So everywhere you can find an acupuncture point, basically. And acupressure in one part of the body can affect other regions of the body. So it doesn't mean that we have an issue with our back that we need to necessarily touch our back. We can actually affect our back by pressing a point in your hand. So everything is connected. The meridians travel all throughout the body. So we don't have to pick the point where the issue is. We can address things with different points in your body. And then the beauty of acupressure is that if you don't like needles, which a lot of people don't like needles, acupressure is a wonderful alternative to acupuncture. And you can use your fingers. We recommend either your thumb or your index finger because they have more strength. And the idea is to have pressure at a specific point. The effects of acupuncture are cumulative. So of acupressure and acupuncture.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
The difference,
yes, please.
How much more potent is the needle, acupuncture versus acupressure? Is there like a measurement of how,
I mean, I'm sure there is. I don't know the answer to that exactly. I think with the acupuncture, we're actually, penetrating the skin. So we're creating this, what we call a micro trauma, because there's a foreign body now inside your body. So maybe the rushing of the blood and the activation of the circulation and all other symptoms in your body is a little bit more intense because there's actually a foreign body inside your body that your body is now rushing to fix, right? And that's how acupuncture enhances circulation of blood and lymph and energy when you think of the chi, because we're creating all these little micro traumas with the needles and then the blood is rushing to fix it. Like alert, alert. With the acupressure, we're still stimulating that point, but we're not creating any trauma because we're not penetrating the skin with a foreign object. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
But they're both super helpful. So, and if anyone else has questions, feel free to maybe put in the chat box and we can go over it as we go instead of putting everything at the end too. So this way is more of a conversation too. Okay. So how to do it? This is not like a end all be all. Like there's, this is not an exact science. So you can do it as long as it feels good for you. But those are just some basic guidelines if you have never done acupressure to start with. So we're gonna locate the acupuncture point, which we're gonna go over in a little bit. We're gonna go over the acupuncture points. I'm gonna teach you how to locate them. And then you're gonna apply firm pressure and firm and deep pressure to the point for about a minute, give it or take. Again, you can do more, You can do, I would say, at least 30 seconds just to kind of like activate the point. But you can do more too if you like, and if it feels good. If you're, it's like a self massage, right? You're in a point, you're there for a little while. It's 30 to 60 seconds is a guideline, but feel free to adjust it accordingly. You may use circular motion. You know, you can go like this, or you can just hold it down and just press on a point. Again, whatever feels good. Sometimes a point is very intense, and we're going to go over a few, and you're going to find it in your bodies and you're going to see it for yourself. Sometimes it's like so intense that you feel the sensation radiating to other parts of your body because you're activating that point, right? So sometimes it feels better to do a little circular massage, but you can also just press firmly. You can do it, I put it here, repeat twice daily. You can do more often. You can do it once a day. You can do it once a week. It's better if you do more consistently. That's the idea. So twice a day, especially if you have something acute, if you're super stressed out or if you have some pain, like it's nice to do acupressure or acupuncture on a more regular basis. But once a week would also be nice, just for like prevention and health maintenance. And it's also a preventive medicine. Not a lot of people use it. We're not used to the concept of preventive medicine, but like exercise and a good diet, you can also just do acupuncture just to feel good and feel healthy. You don't have to have any sort of issues to do acupuncture. You can just do acupuncture because it feels delicious. And acupressure is, you know, I'm going to use the words acupuncture and acupressure interchangeably because, you know, kind of like a similar meaning. So since the points are on both sides of the body, you can massage both sides. I would encourage you to do both sides. Sometimes the points are in the midnight, so you just have one point. But if the point is on one side of the body, that means you're going to have the point on both sides of the body. So I encourage you to do both. And you may find that one side is usually more sensitive than the other, and that's very common. So don't be alert that if in one side of your body, this point is kind of like, oh, I barely feel it. And then you go on the other side and you're like, oh my God, it's very intense. So that happens. Our bodies are constantly shifting and changing. So the sensations are constantly shifting and changing with it. So it's whatever your body needs at that moment, at that day. So, okay. So acupressure is safe and effective for self-care. There are basically no side effects to acupressure unless maybe you're pressing the point so hard that you might give yourself a little bruise. It's not very common, but maybe that would be a little side effect, but probably not because you're not gonna like bruise yourself if you feel like it's too intense, you know? So there's virtually no side effects to acupressure. Or if they are, they're gonna be good side effects, not anything negative. So I want to stop here before we move into our first point location to see if we have any questions. I don't know if you want to type on the chat box or say it, unmute yourself and say it, or if we should move on.
We have a question from Jackie. What are the points for sleeping better? I think we might go into that in a little bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do some points for what we call in Chinese medicine, calming the mind, which is good for sleep, for example, or the first point that we're going to do is for anxiety. That would also help you sleep better. So, ready? Let's do it.
We're ready.
Yeah. So I put it for anxiety, but this is good for insomnia as well. It's called yin tongue, and it's also where the third eye chakra is. It's between your eyebrows. So this one is pretty easy to locate. Obviously, this one is in the midline, so we're not going to have two sides. We're just going to do the center. So we find it. You try to look for a tender area. What do I mean by tender? Tender is a sensation that's almost like a bruise-like sensation. It may not be tender on you, but it's a big point. If you have a headache and this does not feel good, you can, instead of like pressing on it because you already have a headache, you press on it and it's like, oh, this feels kind of super intense. You can like tap on it too. It's a way of like stimulating the point, but in a more gentle way. You know, you can tap, but the idea with the acupressure would be to press on it for a few seconds. You can do that circular massage. Mine is a little tender. I know this point can be more tender on me, for example, but it's a little tender today. So that's yin tongue. Everyone found it? Any issues finding this one? For those familiar with yoga, this is your third chakra, your ajna, a good point for visions and clarity.
And that's one of the things I also like about, and most of the practitioners that come here, but especially with what you're teaching is, the integration of body, mind and spirit, right? We're talking about anxiety, which is normally a mind issue, or like an active mind. It's obviously gonna help us sleep better and activate a lot of the physical issues, or deal with a lot of the physical issues. And it's also the third eye is about connecting to that spiritual part of the self, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
independent of what what you're seeking, it can help in all of those three aspects. So just sorry for the introduction, but it was a really good point you started with.
No, and it's nice that those things overlap. Like there's a lot of Chinese medicine that overlaps with Ayurvedic medicine, especially on the herbal sense. So it's really beautiful to see this sort of collaboration back in the day, and it's still practiced to this day. So here we have yin tongue. Everyone found their yin tongue? Yes, great.
Yeah.
And that one is an easy one. I mean, not that they're hard, but we can get a little bit more specific. So this one is pericardium 6, which is a translation from the Pinyin name is inner pass, is on the inner part of your forearm. And how are we going to find that point? So, and the point is good. This point is good to opening your chest. So speaking of like how different points affect different parts of the body, this particular meridian, the pericardium meridian, begins, in your chest. The pericardium is the sac that surrounds the heart, and the heart in Chinese medicine is the emperor. So this is the protector of the emperor. In some lineages, people don't even believe in treating the heart ever, because there is a heart meridian. So they always treat the pericardium meridian because you don't want to touch the emperor. You want to use the protector of the emperor, which is the pericardium. So pericardium 6 opens the chest and calms the mind. Again, calming the mind is the idea that will be good for sleep, you'll be good for anxiety, you'll be good for nervousness, you name it. It's also a very good point for nausea. If anyone in the group here is experiencing nausea, this is the empirical point for nausea as well. So here we go. So we have the inner part of our hand, of our forearm. So ventral aspect, 3 finger breaths. So we're gonna measure our 3 fingers. And if you're doing this on someone else, you might wanna use their fingers because sometimes some fingers are bigger than others. So it's your own body's measurements for this finger breath, okay? So we're gonna do 3 finger breaths from the wrist crease. The wrist crease is where your wrist joint extends and flexes. So the little line between the hand and your arm. So from there, 3 finger breaths between the tendons that can be easier located when making a fist. So you guys see my tendons here. Some people don't have 2 tendons in there. You just have 1. So don't panic if you don't find 2 tendons. Some people only have 1. So, but you're kind of like right in the center there. And you don't want to be on top of the tendon. You want to be kind of like in a soft part. So 3 finger breaths. There we have pericardium 6, the inner pass. Again, really good to calm in the mind. If you, for example, have a hard time taking deep breaths, you might want to activate this point to open your chest. You can also just do, posture things where you can kind of open yourself up, and then you can massage your pericardium 6 to kind of like simulate circulation in your chest area. And it's calming.
As we're pressing it, is it good to move the arm, or do we kind of hold it still? Well, not the arm, move the hand. I'm sorry, move like open and close.
Sorry, I'm moving it right. No, I think the idea is to stimulate the point. I guess you can move or you can keep it still. I guess I'm moving it because I don't know why. I guess if I would be doing it myself, I would be relaxed with like this, and I would probably just be like this, But because I'm trying to like show it in the computer, I think you can do it either way as long as you have the constant pressure in the point.
Actually, maybe when you're done with the presentation, you could go over them like in when your screen is bigger so we can see it on you in a better
Oh,
way. I don't know if
sure.
it's just a
Yes.
quick, yeah, I'm sure people can see you, but the window is smaller. So I think it'd be good to review that maybe.
Let's do that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions on pericardium 6? Everyone found it?
We have a question. Is it normal to be a bit sore? I think
Yes.
yes, right? Yeah.
It is normal, and it is not that it's expected, because don't feel there's anything wrong if it's not sore. But that's where you're trying to find. You're trying to find that soreness, what I call tenderness. It's good if it's sore, because that means the point needs to be worked on. So things are, because if it's sore, there's some stagnation, there's some blockage. So you want to kind of work on it to dissolve it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? You want to dissolve that blockage. You want to dissolve the soreness. You want things to be free flowing. So it's good. That means you're in the point, basically. So it's really good.
Another
And you can
question
try.
for me. Sorry, is it fist clenched or palm spread? Which one is better?
The fist clench is just to find the tendons.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to be relaxed, basically. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this with my hands up. Like I said, I would be, just kind of like relax, and I'll be like, okay, let me massage my pericardium 6. I'm not going to be holding any sort of, you want to be relaxed. I'm just doing it like this because of the class. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. You can try finding on the side. The person that asked if it was sore, you can try to go on the other side and see and compare. Is the other side less sore, more sore, about the same? So it'd be an interesting exercise to try both sides, just to see how your body's doing, checking in. What I like about the acupressure is, with the acupuncture, you go see the acupuncturist, they put the needles on you, you feel the effects, you feel good. But with the acupressure, it's kind of like you're getting more in touch with your body. You're gonna do some massage on yourself on those acupuncture points, and then the following day you'll be like, oh, this point was really tender yesterday, but today it's better. Does that mean that my chest is more open and things are circulating more? I'm taking deeper breaths. So you see your body change, and I think body awareness is really important. So this is the fun thing about acupressure, is that you're kind of connecting with your body a little bit more too. So pericardium 6. Let's see, what do we have next? So this point and the next one, so they can be, and of course you can do all of these points together, but specific this point, which is large intestine 4, the joining valley, and it's called the joining valley because it's between the first metacarpal and the second metacarpal, and we'll go over the directions more clearly. So this point and the next point, which is liver 3, together, so Li4 is here, liver 3 is here, kind of like in the same area, but in the foot, between the first and second toes. Together, they're called the 4 gates. And the 4 gates are really important to circulate energy in your whole body. So you can do these points together, the large intestine 4 with the liver 3, and you're opening all the gates of your body for better energy circulation. You know what I was thinking, what we could do is we could go over the slide, and I could go back to the full screen for the acupuncture point location. Why don't we do that?
Actually, maybe that's a good idea. That way we can actually like practice with you and see you better.
Yes, let's do that. So let's go over the location really quick on the slide, and then we'll go to the full screen.
Okay, perfect.
So this point is really good for generalized pain, especially pains in your head, but any pains, like any body pains. It's a good pain point, but especially in your head, because it's sort of like the empirical point for your head. So tooth pain, headaches, this is a big point. And there's a lot of energy concentrated in this area. So from all the points that we're going to do today, this might be the most intense one. So where is it? On the dorsal aspect of the hand, where the thumb and index fingers make a V shape, closest to the midpoint of the second metacarpal. So let me go to the big screen here. Okay. So is that good? Are you muted? Okay.
Yeah, everything is great.
Is that good? Okay, perfect. So here's your hand between the first and second fingers on the little V. See? And it's kind of like, you'll find it. It's intense. It's a big point. The other way to think of it too is if you get the part of the metacarpal, the little bone that runs here on your hand, halfway between that bone, your second metacarpal, in the midi part. I think that one is very, very tender. You shouldn't have a problem finding it. It's very intense.
Does it also work on digestion, given that it's like large intestine, or no?
It does, absolutely.
It's
So any
everything
of the points,
connected, yeah.
yes, any of the points in the large intestine channel will be great for digestion because it is the large intestine. Good, really good point, Bella.
Yeah.
It is the large intestine channel, but this point specifically is great for pain, and
Yeah.
especially pain in your head, but it will also help with your digestion. And because together with liver 3, which is our next point, it opens all the gates in your body, it's just a great point for overall circulation. If you don't have a lot of time and you're like, oh, I don't have anything going on, but I just want to like promote my chi circulation, you can do the 4 gates, which is large intestine 4, and the next point that we're going to do, that's liver 3.
As you're sitting there watching a movie or on an
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
stressful meeting or something, you just have a good thing to do.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was doing this class for some cancer patients, and sometimes they have neuropathy where they cannot feel their hands and feet so well sometimes as the side effect of chemotherapy. And someone asked, can you do this with the the back of a pencil with the eraser? Sure, if you have a hard time, if it's hard for you, if you have arthritis and it's hard for you to massage yourself with your own hands, you can use something else that kind of has that. Yeah, there you go, a pen or a pencil, and you can use that too. So, which I thought it was a good question from the other class. Okay, let's try to share the screen again. Can I do this? I can. Yes, success.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, LI4. Anyone has any questions about large intestine 4? Everyone found it. Was it tender for everyone? Was it?
We have a question. Hold on. Do you use the thumb to support from the other counter end of the V? I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, I see. I see that was actually a question that we had in the other class too. You can. So you can also, the point is from the upper part of your hand. The point doesn't come from here. The point comes from here, but you can do both sides. And that will be a more intense sensation if you try on yourself, because you're basically gonna be hitting the point from 2 different ends. The point is here, but you can certainly use both fingers to kind of like stimulate it even more than just from the top. So yes,
Makes
you
sense.
can, if you can bear it. If I do this, it's really intense. I'm like, oh my god, I can only do it for a couple of seconds and then I have to release it. So, but yeah, great question.
Hey, and I have to ask you, I actually knew about this point from, I don't know, I think it was my dad who told me he was doing, I don't know, judo. I think they learned about this point too. And I always use it when I'm about to get an injection. I press it not to feel the injection. Is that bad? Is that
No,
yeah, is that like,
you use it as a distraction from the
yeah,
injection pain. You don't want to,
yeah,
oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because it's intense, right?
it's very
Yeah,
intense. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's, hey, whatever works.
I've been practicing it my whole life, so now I know why it works.
That's awesome. Okay, so the next point that together with LI4 is liver 3. They do the 4 gates, right? It's sort of like in a similar place, but in your foot, in your toes. So liver 3 is the great rushing. It's another big concentration of energy. It's a really big acupuncture point. It promotes the circulation of chi and also calms the mind. It's on the dorsal aspect of the foot. This will be harder. Sorry. So again, this was on the top of the hand. This is on the top of the foot. It is in the hollow between your first and second toes. So if you find the area between your first and second toes here, You kind of like slide into this hollow part. If you go up here and it's bony, you went too far. This point is also very tender. So you can do it like you can put your foot, you can kind of bend over and I don't know, you don't need to bring your foot up, but whatever way you want to try to find this point. But between the first and second toes, in that little hollow there. Ooh, it's super intense. Yeah. And the same idea with large intestine 4, you can go from it from the both ends if you want. It's more intense. But there's the point right there. And you can try both.
Carrie says, I feel it in my liver. She felt it all the way in her liver from that, from pressing the point.
There you go.
That's crazy.
So this channel, so the pericardium channel, when we did pericardium 6, the pericardium channel begins in your chest, so it begins there. The liver channel ends in your liver. So when we're here at liver 3, liver 1 is on the tip of the toe, and then liver 2, liver 3, and then the liver channel goes up your leg, into the groin, into the reproductive organs, and it kind of finishes in your liver. So it's good. It's good that you're feeling your liver. I mean, I hope your liver is okay. Is your liver okay? But that's great. That's great.
Yeah, we'll see what she responds. Another question is, if it's not sore, does it mean it's not working? No, right?
No, maybe it's not sore because that point is balanced for you and there's no blockage in there. So don't worry if it's not sore. It usually is a little sore, even if it's a little tiny bit. So you might want to like make sure you cover the whole area to make sure that you didn't miss the point altogether. But if you cover the whole area where the location is and it's not sore, it's fine. That means your liver, your liver meridian is clear and free flowing and happiness abounds. It's good. It's good. You don't have to be sore. But.
So Anna, interesting point that Carrie brings up, the one that asked about the liver. She says that her liver is fine, but she has some anger hanging out in there, and anger is associated with the liver, right?
Liver meridian, yes, with the liver organ. So in Chinese medicine, when we talk about the liver, and I don't want you guys to worry, like if you press and it's super painful, it's like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with my liver or something's wrong with my large intestine. So when the Chinese created this concept of acupuncture back thousands of years ago, they were not doing dissection of bodies yet. So they didn't know what the body looked like inside. When they created the system of acupuncture and the points and the meridians, they didn't know what was inside the body. So they did that by observing nature and the seasonal changes and plants growing, and they related that to the body, and that's how they created acupuncture. So it's kind of like translating the outer world into your inner world of your body and how your body works. It's quite impressive. So the liver in Chinese medicine is not necessarily your liver in Western medicine. The liver in Chinese medicine is a character that likes the color green, and the emotion that's associated with it is anger. And it likes, the spring. When things are sort of like sprouting the spring, if you plant seeds to sow them, to harvest them in late summer, in the spring, the seed is breaking to the ground, and it's like a hard process, right? To push through the ground and break and become a little plant and grow. So that's the liver. The liver is very powerful. It's very strong. The element associated with the liver is wood, because of spring and growth. So yeah, and anger is the emotion associated with the liver. So it's really good if you're feeling really angry. So this is good to promote chi circulation and calming the mind, but especially if you're feeling angry, you want to give your liver meridian, your liver 3, you're learning about liver 3, some attention. You can see liver 2 in the picture too, so you can do both to release some anger and, cry if you have to. Tears are the fluid of the liver. Different organs are associated with different fluids, and tears are the fluid of the liver. So sometimes when I'm with a patient and we start talking and the patient cries, I'm always honored for, allowing the space for the person to cry, but also it's like a self-treatment, because if you're crying, you're moving the fluid of the liver So you're already kind of clearing some of the anger through your tears, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely makes sense. I know we
Yeah.
have a couple of more questions, but I'd like to ask, like, maybe we can keep the questions to the end, right, to move forward. But the questions we have here were actually related to something that you said. So I'm just gonna, the one about should we do both feet one by one? Yes, right?
Yes.
And then the time duration is 30 to 60 seconds, right? From what you said.
At least it's, and that's not an exact thing. You can spend more time if you want, if it's really intense and you want to spend more time massaging it, but it's some guy, it's like a guideline, 30 to 60, at least 30 seconds, but 30 to 60 seconds is a guideline, but meaning you can spend more time if you want to.
And the more specific questions, we'll get back to them after you go through the points. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have the 4 gates, which was large intestine 4 with liver 3, great for just, you know, preventive health. You want your body to be with proper circulation. You can do some acupressure on the 4 gates anytime, you know, like Bella was saying, when you're watching a movie, do a little massage on those 4 points, you know, the liver 4 and the liver 3, or Li4 and liver 3. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, this is a nice one for immunity. It's one of my favorite points in the acupuncture. It's a lot of people's favorite points. This point is great to boost immunity among 10,000 other functions. It's an amazing point. It really helps with digestion as well. It's in the stomach channel, like Bella pointed before about large intestine 4, good for headaches, but is it good for digestion? Yes, it is. And of course, this point is also amazing for digestion. And it's, you know, all this stuff coming up of the gut brain relationship, that sometimes there's more things happening in your gut than in your brain. Like we're finding so much more every day about the relationship of, you know, your bowels and your brain. And this is a great acupuncture point right here. I think the Chinese were up to it like a long time ago. Also, the other thing there's a lot of research happening now is on mental health, right? Like your gut health also really affects your mental health. So really important to have proper nutrition and making sure, like sometimes people eat really well but they still struggle with a lot of different issues, but your body needs to be absorbing those nutrients well. It doesn't matter if you're eating super well and your body's not absorbing all the nutrients, right? So we need to work with different disciplines, with your doctor, with other holistic practitioners to see what's going on. Even though I'm eating really well, I'm exercising, but is your body doing its job properly? So I think that's a big point for acupuncture, is that we're constantly trying to make your body be performing the best it can by promoting better circulation. So let's see, where is stomach 36? It's the translation of the point is 3 miles. But this one is probably the hardest ones that we're going to do today as far as location. This one is below the knee. So when you bend your knee, you find the eyes of the knee, or the end of the patella there, with the tendons. So when you find the outer eye, so there's 2 little, if you think of it as 2 little eyes, you find the outer one on the outside of your leg. And then you're going to measure 4 finger breadths of your fingers, of your own fingers. And then you're going to put it there. And at the end of the measurement, so here's the tibia, the bone. It's hard. You don't want to be on the bone. You want to be just off the bone there. And that should be a really tender point. It's a big point. I think of this point as being this big, you know, so you can kind of, if you don't find soreness, you can kind of work in the area. This is an amazing point for immunity, gut health, mental health. It also calms your mind. It's good for everything. This is like if I'm going to do 1 point, I can only use 1 needle in a patient. I don't even know what's going on with them. I'm probably going to choose this point. This is an amazing point. So,
actually have to say, I used to, when I was living in Washington, I used to go to this Chinese acupuncturist. Like he didn't even speak English very well. And I clearly remember this point. I had digestive issues and he would just like stick. It was so painful. But I immediately would feel like my digestion moving, you know, the sound of like,
yes,
and things would just activated, you know, it was amazing. So
it's incredible when you needle people and you can hear their bowels moving. Yeah, the
yeah,
Borborygum is it's amazing.
it's
And some
incredible.
people,
It's
we always
immediate.
tell people, like, if you have to fart, if you have to do anything, this is like a free space. Just move everything. Acupuncture really
Yeah.
releases a lot of things that are stuck. So yeah, that's so cool. I love it.
Just a quick question too.
But
Is
like,
it
don't scare no,
what?
don't scare people saying that he was like, ching.
No, cara, ele fez a boom. It was like a stab in the. I think
It
it was
doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
to do it really like from far away. Oh man.
That's funny.
Quick question from Nita. Is it helpful with stomach tension when stressed?
With stomach cramps, absolutely.
No, tension. Yeah, with stomach tension.
Tension. Yeah, sure. Tension, cramps. Yes, it is. It's a great point to address any stomach issues. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just want to clarify, by tension, you mean kind of like when your stomach gets bloated and then it feels tense, like your belly gets bloated, like gassy? Is that what you mean?
No, when you feel stressed, when you're nervous about something and you feel it, like your stomach is like,
butterflies?
Yeah.
Yes. That's a good one. Pericardium 6 is a really good one for butterflies too. And you can do them together. You could do stomach 36 and pericardium 6 and see if it calms the butterflies.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anna, one more question about how to get it right. Please give us some tips on how to get it right. Jackie, do you mean how to get the point right?
Yeah, so the thing to make sure is that you're not on top of the bone, right? So did you guys have an easy time finding the eyes of the knee? Whatever we mean by the eyes of the knee.
Yeah.
So when it's bent, you can feel there's 2 little holes, right? So you find that, and then you measure your 4 fingers on the eye, and then where your fingers end. You know, right now I put my finger on top of the bone. I don't want to be on top of the bone. You can see the corner, the edge of the bone. You just want to be off of the bone there. And then you probably land on the point. This should be quite sore. This one, I think. Because I think nowadays we're all carrying a lot of stuff. There's a lot to think about. So there's a lot of stresses on top of our regular stresses. So yeah, oh, I love it. I love this point. Sorry, who was having a hard time or making sure? Did you find it? Was it
Jackie, did you find it? Well, if she's not responding, hopefully she'll find it. We'll get back to it if not.
Okay.
Are you talking to me?
She says not sure. Jackie?
You're talking to me?
Yes,
oh, I'm sorry. I thought it's a different Jackie. Yeah, Jacqueline, is you're asking the question?
No.
No, there's a different Jackie asking about the point.
I want to ask a question. Is there anything to help this part of your hand because I've been doing a lot of housework and this is hurting.
Yes, large intestine 4 would be good for that because it's right there near your thumb. So you could do large intestine 4 for that. And you could do it. You could do large intestine 4 for pain in your thumb. Is that what you mean? Yes. Yeah, for sure. And you can do it the way that someone asked if you could do it from both ends. You could do it from both ends. So you're kind of like really releasing the thumb joint there. Yeah. Yeah. And you can also do liver 3, because in Chinese medicine, there's a whole way of thinking of it that's called the balance method. So some acupuncturists, they won't, if you tell them you have pain in your thumb, they won't treat your thumb. They're actually going to treat liver 3. They're going to treat your toe, because it's like a mirror image. If you think your foot and your hand are the same thing, they're not going to go directly where the pain is, but they're going to go in the mirror image, which will be your foot. So you could also use liver 3 for that pain. And I would use opposite side. So if it's really painful on the right hand, you can use liver 3 on the left foot, and try that too. So, okay. All right, I think we are almost done. We have a couple more.
Is there anything for the circulation in your legs?
Can I just ask, if could we have a couple of more questions that were asked even before? Could we just leave the questions till the end, just to make sure we get through, because there are a lot of very specific questions we can have, but I'd rather leave them to the end if that's okay.
And there's, it happens to be that the answer to the question is the next slide. So for circulation, especially for your lower limbs, for your legs, and also your groin area, spleen 6, which is the 3 yin intersection, is great. So it kind of happened that the answer came right away. So spleen 6 is on the spleen meridian. Again, it's going to be a good point to do with stomach 36, the one that we just learned. If you're having a lot of digestive issues, or the lady that mentioned stomach tension, it'd be good to do together stomach 36 with spleen 6. Spleen 6 is also very good for female issues, any gynecological issues, menstrual issues. It's a contraindicated point in pregnancy. So if anyone is pregnant, please do not use this point, and do not use large intestine 4 either. I think from the points that we're covering today, those are the 2 points that are contraindicated for pregnancy. Don't do it if you're pregnant. So spleen 6, it's on the inside part of your leg. So we're gonna find the sort of tip of your medial malleolus, the little ankle bone here. And then again, we're gonna measure 4 finger breaths. And then at the end, we're gonna find spleen 6. So it's really important that it's not hard, because then that's bone and that's the liver meridian. We wanna be on soft tissue, not on bone. So, and if you follow the tip of your medial malleolus, you should be on soft tissue. But just in case you're feeling anything hard, a bone, you don't want to be on the bone. You want to be on the soft tissue. And there's your spleen 6. And again, this is another wonder point. I mean, they all are. I don't want to discriminate against the acupuncture points, but those stomach 36 and spleen 6 are beautiful, beautiful points. I've had patients that had emotional releases, like you insert the needle and the person starts crying right away, or feels something really intense, especially for women. This is a very good point. But in this case here, we're doing for circulation of your entire leg. But it's also great for digestive issues, women's issues, everything really. And then we are on to our next one, which is our last one for today. This is Do 20, which also relates to yoga for people that are into the yoga traditions. This is the crown chakra. This Do 20 is the 100 meetings. This is the most young point of the body. In Chinese medicine, we have the balance between yin and yang, right? This is the most young point of the body. It's on the top of your head. You connect it to the heavens, to the spirits, whatever you believe in. It's your connection with a higher power. Very, very delicious point. I think I love them all. I was saying like, oh, this is my favorite point. I take it back. I don't have a favorite point. This point clears the mind. Is really good if you're kind of feeling flustered and you cannot concentrate. It's a calming point as well, but it's also really good for clearing the mind. When we were in acupuncture school, before big exams, we would needle ourselves and we would be in the classroom with the needle sticking out, just to clear our minds for the test and get ready. So where is it? So if you fold your ear in half, just to kind of like, find it's kind of hard, sorry, with the video here. And then you kind of follow that line where the top of the ear is. You fold it in half, you find that line, and then you bring it up. And then you follow the midline here. And where they meet, that's your do 20. Right? At the vertex of the head along the midline aligned with the posterior aspect of your ear. Really tender on me. Yeah. So if for this channel, like there's the do channel, which is one of the extraordinary channels that goes, you know, through your spine all the way inside your mouth. So you might be in a different do point. So you want to be clear where you are. Not that it's a bad thing. You can simulate all the points in the do channel. But if you want to clear your mind, focus, you want to be sure that you're in do 20. So you kind of follow your ear, and then you follow your midline here, and that's your do 20. Oh, I feel so good. So that will be our last point for today, and we can open up the floor for questions. I just have our last slide. Thank you, Bella, for supporting wellness virtually in our communities in this unprecedented times. And I also want to mention that the pictures that we use on the slides are from this book, which is A Manual of Acupuncture from Peter Dedman. And I'm probably going to have that in the resource list that I'm going to send to Bella. I can actually copy and paste into the chat box here now. Would that be helpful? Yeah.
I think
or later.
If it's possible, I would like for people to join, because the chat is difficult to get them. But you can right in the beginning I sent this group information.
Okay.
Here, let me show you. Send it again, and if you join there, then I'll have all of both the recording of this video, which I think will be helpful, you know, to go over things. Oh, sorry, that's not what I was gonna copy. And as well as, you know, the book that you recommended, your contact information, and, you know, everything else.
Okay, perfect. Excellent.
And let's go to the questions that we had in the middle very quickly, because there were some of the first questions. Show us the magic point of cervical tension next to the shoulder for severe pain in the shoulder girdle.
Ooh, I just took a class during this pandemic, and this big orthopedic professor said the best shoulder point for him, which is not the one that I usually use, but it would be hard to show you on myself. Maybe I can show you on this. He said the best point for shoulder pain is small intestine 12. No, it's going to be really hard. So, okay, maybe I explain it to you. So in your scapula, you know, if you think of your scapula as a triangle, the superior border of the scapula, at the superior border, you find your scapula, you kind of trace the whole thing. You find the midway point of the superior border of the scapula. If you think of the scapula as a triangle, so you find the superior border, and the halfway point is small intestine 12. Apparently, according to him, with acupuncture, I'm not sure if it would be the same for acupressure. It's like an amazing point for shoulder pain, especially in the shoulder girdle. For myself, what I found, shoulder pain can be tricky, especially when you have the diagnosis of frozen shoulder, when you cannot, you know, move your shoulder past 90 degrees. I love addressing motor points. Yeah, like this little tiny muscles, the teres, major teres, minor, you know. Yeah, I love releasing those muscles on the bottom of your shoulder, of your rotator cuff. So I love doing those guys myself, because I feel like the muscles are so small and they get so ropey, you know. So something to play around with.
Cool. Thank you. We have two more questions. What is the ideal posture to apply? I think I was referring to this one, right? To this top point. Is it standing? I guess it's like standing or sitting down, or does it really matter?
Well, I don't think it really matters. If you want to be, it depends on how, if you want to like do this point and kind of like, you know, in a space of like, you're in a meditative space, you just finished your meditation, or you're preparing to meditate, you're sitting in a specific meditative posture that you like. then you can kind of do that as a ritual and like stimulate that point before or after your meditation to kind of connect to like your higher powers. But if you're just doing for mental clarity and you're not in this as much of a you're not in a esoteric space, and you know it's not spiritual, you just want to like, I'm really foggy headed, I just want to think better, you can just do anytime, anyway, laying down, standing up. But if you're preparing for yourself for meditation, you can kind of use this, connecting yourself. You can visualize things. It depends on what you're gonna do. So, but you can
Awesome.
do it with, you want to be relaxed, I think is the point,
Yeah.
because you want to focus on the sensation of the acupressure on that specific point. So you want to make sure that the rest of your body is relaxed and comfortable.
Nice. One
Bella?
more. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Ana Paula, what I mean by shoulder glitter is more here on the cervical.
Yes.
Is there be any specific point?
Sure. So I'll give you a couple. So because a lot of people carry tension in their neck into the shoulder
Yes.
area, right? So a really good
Me
point
too.
is gallbladder 20, which is kind of like between your spine and the acromion. You're gonna go halfway. It's on the top of your shoulder. That's also contraindicated during pregnancy, by the way, because it's a down bearing point. So you don't want to do this if you're pregnant. But on top of the shoulder is really sore. So you can do that one, which is gallbladder 20. You can also do this point here, small intestine 3. So here's your finger, here's your hand. It's right after. So it's not in your finger, it's in your hand.
Yeah. Okay.
There.
Got it. Yes.
Yes, that's a really good point to stimulate for neck pain in general.
Thank you.
And you can do both sides. And then a last point that we can do is more on the balance method. So you do the other parts to affect the other parts. So this one, we will do the front to affect the back. So for neck pain, we can do REM 24, which is just, if you look at it, it would be your neck back here, right? But we're approaching it from the front. So you can massage that point, which is right below your lower lip, not in the chin bone, but like right in that divot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can do that one too. So you have 3 points to do.
Thank you.
For neck
Thank
pain.
you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anna, there was one more question about the crown chakra. If it hurts, it's normal. I think you mentioned about all of them, right? If it hurts, it means
Yes.
it needs to be.
You need attention.
It
Yeah,
needs attention.
it's good. And you're in the right point. So yeah.
And then the last comment here, well, one more, but much gratitude and big thanks for sharing all these useful tips. I feel the same. I join Dr. Mizan in really thanking you for all these beautiful tips. I'm already ready to try it out tonight. But he's also asking any points for sleep induction. You mentioned 2 for stress relief. They work for
so pericardium 6 is very calming. So you can use that for sleep. And yin tongue, you can use that guy for sleep as well. There's a point that how to do this.
Белл, у меня тоже есть вопрос.
Ладно. Подожди.
If you go, how do I explain this? So if you go behind your ear, the earlobe, you kind of get in there where the earlobe joins your neck. You go in the little hole there.
Painful.
Yeah.
So the point is not there. This is sorry.
What's that point? The one right under.
No, so yeah, that point is really good. That's the triple burner channel, which is kind of like the fascia in Chinese medicine. If you have any ear issues, that's a really good point. It's a really good point to in cosmetic acupuncture, just to pull everything up when you're there to kind of like.
Good to know. You're laughing.
Isn't the soft part like a hole here?
Yes.
Right, close to
the back of your earlobe joins the neck, and then you're gonna find a point in your neck, sort of. Maybe I'm gonna read you the definition. Give me 1 second. So the point is between those 2 points. So you're gonna find the point behind your ear and there's other point, and kind of like halfway there is a really good point
Oh,
for sleep, which is an extraordinary point called Anyam.
oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So you want to be sure that you're kind of like not too far low into the neck. You're behind your ear, and it's kind of like right there.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Okay.
because of the location for the neck pain person,
difficult to
this
find.
would be good for neck pain too. But this is a really good point for insomnia.
Cool.
Anyam.
This is to sleep, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna read you the location from the book to see if it makes more sense than what I'm talking about, because I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
While you're looking, Mom, what was your question? My mom is there, so she wanted.
About urinary tract, how you can strengthen your urinary tract,
Okay.
leaking urine leaking, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yes. Kegels are really good. Yes, and maybe you're doing them already. Kegel exercises, just contracting your pelvic floor.
Ah, okay.
But thinking of acupuncture, so spleen 6 from the ones that we cover already, so you're already familiar with it. Spleen 6 would be great because
Okay.
this is the meeting of all the yin channels that are going from your inner leg into your groin. So you might want to stimulate that guy as well.
Okay.
And there are some other points for urinary leakage that I cannot think of on the top of my head. But another point that's good for that too. So this is cool that you asked that, now that I think of it. So do 20, the one to clear your mind, is
Mhm.
also a point that lifts everything. So if there's any sort of prolapse or leakage, let it be urine liquid leakage or bowel leakage, diarrhea, uterine prolapse, any sort of prolapse, anal prolapse, you can press on do 20 because this is, again, the most young point of your body. It connects you to the heavens, so it also lifts things. So that might be a good one for urinary leakage as well. But there's more.
Thank you.
There's more.
Amazing. And someone, Jacqueline, said that the point about the sleeping worked immediately. I don't know if she fell asleep already or not.
That's funny.
And we have one more question. You mentioned that you were gonna, if you can help people find the first time like acupuncture, local acupuncturists. Is that something that you're gonna offer on Facebook maybe later, or what do you
Sure. So if you want to tell me, so what would be the best way to do that? So maybe on the Facebook link to this video, if you guys want to be like, I'm in this place, do you have a recommendation I could recommend? Because especially if the acupuncturist is on Facebook, I can just tag the acupuncturist. So that might be a way. Would that be a good way to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Or you can ask me or Bella, and she can ask me. So yeah, the point that I was trying to do for insomnia is not going to be helpful because it's basically between these 2 points that I was trying to show you. Maybe if I can borrow Tuck. 1 second. Should I borrow Tuck, or did you guys get it?
I think we got it. It's you
yeah.
can,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have, I think we have to start wrapping up. If you guys have like a lot, more specific questions, I think I can leave your contact, right, Anna, to answer some questions or direct.
You can leave you can leave the contact, and I think I'm just gonna put a bunch of information maybe on the link of the video for this class. I'm gonna have all those different books you can read, and websites that you can visit that talk more about acupuncture and how it works and the different organ systems and the different elements and what is what, and so.
Yeah, great. And someone asked if they don't have Facebook. I'm gonna send my email. You can contact me by email, and I'll share the video and the PowerPoint. And just we just have a lot of thanks. This was a great and very helpful. Thanks everyone from Internations. Thanks a lot, Anna and Bella. Very helpful. Obrigada, Ana Paula.
De nada.
Thanks and big thanks everyone.
I didn't get the Facebook page. Which is it?
Embody Wellness.
So Embody Wellness is the page. Embody Wellness is the is our Facebook page. I'll post it there too. But we have a private group that's where I post everything. We also have the YouTube where the YouTube video will be shared. I'm just gonna send this group that I just sent right now, if you join there, we have all of the other webinar videos, you know, recordings saved there, all the contact information for the professionals, and some, you know, tips that you can, you know, professionals are share great, you know, with you guys. So, and or if they have some programs they share in this group as well. But if you'd like, just send me an email. I shared my email as well, and I can contact you, you know, put you guys in touch with Ana Paula by email as well. Okay.
Okay.
Ana, I'm really thankful for having you, and you know, squeezing all these different information from me, because it was really, you know, it's something that most of us are still kind of, you know, stuck at home, and we feel like we need to strengthen our immune system and relieve the stress, but we don't really have the, you know, availability of specialists around there. So it's really helpful to get these really incredible you know, tips and this wisdom from the ancient Chinese. And hopefully we'll soon be able, you know, to come and actually practice acupuncture. But in the meantime, we'll be, you know, pressing some points here and there.
Yeah, getting to know your body better, which is great. This, I think, is the whole philosophy of embody wellness. You know, acupressure is part of that.
It completely goes really well with you know, with the whole philosophy. And Anna, I just want to very quickly share the upcoming webinars so that people just know what to look forward to. Just one quick second. So we have a lot of them aligned. We have another Ana Paula actually next week that's going to share with us. It's the Ana Paula month. Like this is one is going to be Portuguese about óleos essenciais, so essential oils and how to use them to strengthen our immunity. Then there'll be a session with me actually to talk about how to create your own guide to pleasurable wellness. I'm going to be actually launching this Reset 21-21-21 program on 21st of June to help you guys kind of create your own guide to a pleasurable wellness day, right? To kind of reviewing like nutrition, movement, stress management, all of those things in a pleasurable manner. And then the week after, we have Beta, who's going to be talking to us about, you know, how to eat healthy without making it too complicated. So just wanted to share those things with you. There's always something interesting on the webinars. It's always really nice to really, you know, connect with these like-minded people, you know, and to really bring this positive energy in the times of really difficulties that we're facing. To see that we can be empowered, we can take care of our body, and there's a lot to be done while we're at home. Ana Paula, if you can share, you want to share your Instagram? It's a share needle love, right?
Spread.needle.love.
Hold on, let me write it. Spread.
I can put it on the chat.
Love.
.love.
Yeah, follow.
Yes.
She's
And
very
I try to keep it about acupuncture only.
How?
Sometimes
Sorry, can you repeat the Instagram?
Oh, sorry.
I can put it on the chat box, actually.
Yeah, sorry. I sent it directly to someone specific, but I'm going to share it again. Oh, did you share it? Here, I'm going to share it too. Yeah. So thank you again, everyone, for participating and for actively participating, asking questions, and it's really nice to know that, you know, people are taking care of themselves and you know, interested in learning about all these different holistic practices. So very excited to have you. I hope next time we'll get you to speak in Portuguese so we can get the other part of the, you know, people.
Yeah.
Doing, you know.
Sure. Would love that.
Don't understand it, Portuguese.
Yeah. Yeah, because Ana is actually a carioca who lives in LA, so she can easily do both.
Yeah, I don't know easily, but yes, I'm not used to talking about acupuncture in Portuguese. It might be interesting, but yes, I would love to.
That would be amazing. Yeah, because this was a popular one. I think people really want to know, you know, some very specifics on how to take care of themselves, and it seems like a relatively easy thing that we can do, and
sure,
you know,
without side effects. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
So thanks again, and be safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Be safe in LA, and hopefully things will be peaceful soon. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have
Nice
a great
meeting
night.
everyone.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.